What's up, you guys? It's Layla Lynn, and I'm back with another video. On the Neighborhood Talk, they posted recently a conversation with Shamea regarding colorism on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I know what a lot of you guys are thinking automatically, like, not again. I feel like colorism almost ruined the Real Housewives of Potomac. And Atlanta has almost been like our safe haven where the conversations are not about color. They don't get so sticky, icky, if you will. It's always been different on Atlanta. But now it seems like those conversations are creeping their way into Atlanta. So we're going to get into what Shamea said in her interview. Shout out to Kyle and his team. I believe it was Dee that interviewed with her. Shout out to them. We're going to get into what she said and what people are saying about Shamea and the whole colorism conversation when it comes to Real Housewives of Atlanta. But first, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe to this channel and my crime channel, Crime in Context with Layla Lynn. All right, you guys. So this was a brief interview that Shamea did, and she was asked about colorism, and she said basically she's glad people are starting to see it how she sees it.
Have definitely come to your defense online a lot this season, and there has been a debate that it could be colorism. I know you may or may not have seen those comments, but because you're in that seat, do you feel like it could be colorism, or do you feel like that's a reach?
I just, like I said, I think if you treat people with kindness, it should be reciprocated. And oftentimes we don't see that. I mean, heck, I've been taking it on the chin from fans, since I joined the cast. So it's just nice to finally see that people are seeing things from my POV. Because, there's always your truth, their truth, and then the real truth. I'm just happy that people are even opening up their eyes to actually see and try to understand it. Because hell, I was like, I'm like, what is happening? Why is it happening? And why me? I'm not a victim, but it's like, well, okay, why not me? I just hope that at some point we can get to a space where we're all one cohesive group and there's no division. That's my goal.
And so I'm going to be honest with you guys. What Shamea is saying, okay, we can start from the last thing she said. She wants to get to a space where it's one cohesive group. But it was said at the season 16 reunion, last year's reunion, to where she was the one that wanted to do allies, like groups, like the new girls versus the old girls, the aunties versus the nieces. Like she was the one that wanted to kind of cause some separation. And so I don't know if I completely believe what she's saying, but anytime you ask someone a question like this, of course, they're going to defend themselves. So I feel like that's what Shamea is doing. But I do feel like, and I do see where she's had a hard time with the fans. When she came on the show, I think one of the reasons is because when she came after Kenya Moore, like when she drank water from those water bottles at Kenya Moore's hair show or whatever she was having, I think Kenya Moore's fans are passionate. And I think that was one of her first problems on the show, dealing with Kenya Moore fans and then later dealing with Porsha fans. But one of the things I see on the show that Shamea deals with, it's actually two things. And to me, I'm going to be honest with you, it doesn't have anything to do with colorism. That's not the ism. To me, the ism is favoritism. Like she is not a fan favorite, but the person she is going against is. Like her and Porsha were friends. Porsha is a fan favorite on the show. Any way you slice it or dice it, I know a lot of people don't like that she took that woman's husband, even though she gave him back. She gave him back, but a lot of people don't like that she, supposedly took that woman's husband in the first place. But at the same time, even with that, Porsha is still a fan favorite, and she's considered the main OG on the show right now, her and Cynthia. And so with her going against a fan favorite, she's dealing with favoritism, and she is not on the favorite end of that. She's on the opposite end of that, and that should be expected. In my opinion, that should be expected. But I don't want to minimize her experiences because I don't know the full breadth of her experiences. So when I go on my social media, like when I see my Twitter feed, Instagram feed, and things like that, what people are saying about Shamea has to do with her and Porsha. And that's clearly because Porsha is a fan favorite. Another issue, in my opinion, that Shamea deals with is that even though these women are on this show about luxury lifestyles, there's still supposed to be a relatable aspect to them. Like they're supposed to be inspirational, aspirational, but there's also supposed to be a relatable aspect to them. And I don't think Shamea is relatable. I don't think people, even with her second season, can comprehend if her husband is worth a reported 177 million, if she takes one elevator to her other elevator, why is she on the show if he don't really want to be there? I don't think people can wrap their heads around that. I know I can't. Other than her wanting fame. And a lot of people see that as being thirsty, but it comes across as she's not here for the money. She already said she actually spends money being on the show because she has to do all this prep for the show. So she doesn't actually make money. She spends money being on the show. So it stands to reason, okay, if you're not making money on the show, you're here for another reason. You wanted to be a singer, you want to be an actress, you want to be a businesswoman. So it just seems like she's willing to be on the show, sacrifice her friendship with her quote unquote best friend for years just for fame. And so she comes across, in my opinion, she comes across as thirsty. In her opinion, is probably ambitious. Like she probably sees herself as ambitious, but I just don't think people can relate to someone married to someone with that high of a net worth, and all they ask you to do is not do reality TV and not doing it. I just don't think it's relatable. Carlos King also asked her about colorism, and she was saying when the incident happened with her sitting down, I believe she said it was off camera, she sat down with Angela and Drew, and Angela said that Shamea complained to them about her friendship with Porsha, saying it's not what it was, it's not what it used to be. And I think that's where the whole victim mentality came up, like she was a victim of Porsha. It seems like she was implying that maybe people believe Angela because Angela is lighter than her. It seems like that's what she was getting at on her Carlos King interview, but she didn't go real deep into it. But it was implied. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys, I still don't think that it had to do with color. I think it just has to do with the way Shamea moves on the show. People assume she's thirsty because she's here when she could be at home in I think she said $10 million mansion. But people assume that she is thirsty. She comes across as thirsty and not as ambitious. Y'all leave a comment and let me know what y'all think. I really hope, I believe colorism is a real thing. I've done multiple videos on my channel on colorism. I believe it's a real thing, but I really hope those conversations don't start on Atlanta, because Atlanta has kind of been our reprieve from those type of conversations. Whereas on Potomac, you see women set themselves apart because of their physical features. Like I feel like on Potomac, one of the reasons colorism became such a hot topic on that particular franchise is because the women, Giselle and Robin, regular Robin, shout out to Kempire, call themselves the green-eyed bandits. They literally call themselves based on their physical features. And no, you don't have to have light skin to have green eyes, but in their case they do. They make physical features a priority. And I feel like that's why that's a hot topic on that particular cast. The cast of Atlanta has always been different. They're different shades, but there's never been a grouping according to shade. The grouping has been by height, but in the past, it's never been a grouping according to shade. And I just hate to see that come to Atlanta. Y'all leave a comment. Let me know what you think. As always, thanks for watching.